Happy Truthful Tuesday!
Happy Truthful Tuesday, guys. Thank you for listening.
Yes, thank you for joining us again this week.
Yes.
And thank you for watching all the other videos.
Yes.
And if you haven't, go back and watch them.
Yes, leave comments, leave feedback. We really appreciate the feedback that you guys have given. It helps us improve.
Yep.
We always want to get better every time we post another video.
Yeah, we want to get better for you guys. We want to help spread this self-love and positivity.
Yes.
And we want you all to be a part of it.
Yeah, and let us know. I mean, we are working on ourselves just as much as we want to help you guys work on yourself. So if there's anything that you need to leave and let us know, we would greatly appreciate it.
Yes. So, getting started. Today's topic is self-improvement and ways in which Ashley and I have worked on ourselves and tips and techniques we can give you on how to improve yourself.
Exactly. Yes, because we've been there. We're still there.
Yes,
so
it's a journey. Mm-hmm. It's a lifelong journey.
Yes, and I think a huge thing about self-improvement is to understand the fact that it never ends, right? Self-improvement is not to reach a certain destination.
Nope.
It's almost to reach many and never stop reaching destinations. If you feel like you have completely improved and you never have to improve at all, it's probably not true. You always have room for growth.
That's why those quotes exist, right? Like, life is a journey. You have to live it.
Exactly.
And if you don't have different goals or different achievements you want to reach, you're just going to stay like stagnant. And then in that stagnant space, your vibrations aren't going up or going down, and you just kind of feel like a lull.
Absolutely.
You know, a lull and dull. Like, you don't have that inner joy radiating from you. But the more you start improving yourself, the more you start living in your purpose, the more you start raising those good vibrations within yourself, and you start emitting those good vibrations to others, and you have that joy, and it's like a constant high.
Absolutely.
That's what a natural high is.
Yes, that's what it means to be lit.
Yes.
It is. It's absolutely that high that you get from constantly progressing, constantly improving, and setting goals for yourself and saying, okay, like, I want to improve in these areas of my life, and in order to do that, I want to reach these goals. And then that starts putting everything in perspective. You kind of start that momentum because you start working towards those goals. But once you reach those goals, if you reach them and you're waiting for the fulfillment to happen, when you reach them, then you're going to be disappointed because you're like...
It's also a sense to say, sorry to cut you off.
Of course.
If you've reached the goal and you don't feel that fulfillment, that wasn't your supposed goal.
Exactly.
It means there's something more. It means there's something beyond that goal that is now what you need to achieve reach that inner joy.
Yeah, and even then, like, I think that you always have more to reach. Like, every time I reach a goal, I'm like, wow, I actually reached it, right? Like, I improved myself so much so that I could be where I'm at. But where I'm at is still not enough, right? You're grateful for where you're at. You're present in the moment. But you also know that you're always supposed to continue growing.
Yes.
And if you're continuing to improve yourself, then you're going to continue reaching new goals.
Yep.
You know, if your goal is to move across the United States, right? That's a great goal. And I remember even
which
personally...
you did.
Which I did. Woo! And when I actually achieved it, right? Because in the beginning, I didn't know if I would actually last being here.
Yeah.
Being here already for a year, and I was like, oh yeah, this is definitely it. Like, I reached it. I kind of felt, I mean, I was rewarded. I was very proud to say that I had reached it, but I was also like, now what?
Yeah.
Right? Like, I reached it, but this can't just be it, because it's not.
Yeah. So here's my question. Being that was a part of your journey in self-improvement, what exactly led to you wanting to make that move?
Oh, it's a great question.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel as if I woke up, right? And I needed to improve myself. If I wanted to improve my life, I realized that having a better life was not about things just happening that were better. It was about improving myself so that I could have a better life. And when you do that, when you start improving yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, then you start dissecting your life and you start removing the things that are not good for your life.
Yes.
And then you start craving more.
Yeah.
Right? You crave healthier, you crave better food, you
Yes.
crave better people, you
Yes.
crave better environments. And when you crave that and you know that your environment doesn't really offer you what you need to be better, you start trying to wonder and figure out where that environment is, right? I spent some time knowing that I wanted to move. I would talk to my mom like, Mom, I want to move and I like this part of Florida, but not really enough to move. You know, I hadn't found my place yet.
Yeah.
But when I came on vacation and I felt the energy, like it was very much like a vibe and just a feeling.
Yeah.
I think that that's the best way I can explain it. That feeling of like, this is where I need to be.
Yes.
Everything else, it became a goal.
Yeah.
You know?
So you made the decision.
Yes.
You didn't know how you were going to do it.
Exactly.
But you made the decision that you were going to move to California.
Yep.
So here's where I'm going with this. When you make the decision, things, you can call it what you want, synchronicity, the universe, whatever, will line up to put you on your path and your purpose.
Yes.
Now, tell me how you found where you were going to live.
Oh, this is so exciting.
When you made the decision to move to California.
Well, I love talking about this. Okay, so, and it really is crazy, like you said. And you can call it whatever you want. Other people are like, oh, I don't believe in God, so we're not going to call it God. It really doesn't matter. It's not a coincidence. Yeah. It's absolutely not. And for me, I mean, about a year before even deciding or ever even coming to California, I had gone on a cruise and in an excursion, right? So you know how you go, there's like, you land, you basically dock the boat.
Yeah.
And then you have excursions to go like snorkeling and stuff. On the excursion in a ferry to go to the other island, I met this couple that was from California. We ended up all doing the excursion together. And like, we all just vibed off of each other so well. And that goes back to the point where when you start self-improving yourself, you start attracting the good things that you need in order to improve even more, right? So I was in a place at that point in time where I had removed some friends and relationships that I needed to in order to be a better person. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, these great people were like, just like falling in my lap. That's what it felt like, right? And they were those people, you know, they were so great. They were like reflections of myself, like how you are. Yeah. And so I met them, never, ever in a million years imagining that I would live with them across the United States. But we stayed in touch, and fast forward, now I'm thinking of the possibility of moving to California. Yeah. And I'm telling them, like, you guys live in a beautiful place. And I had actually only come to LA. I hadn't even seen Northern California. And they were like, no, you haven't even seen, like, where we live. Yeah. Come over here, check it out. Like, you can stay with us. And even them telling me that, it was like, it was going to be in my mind, like, you know, a week or two or maybe a month of staying with them. But I was going to eventually get on my own 2 feet and figure it out, because I didn't think that they would even want me to live with them. Like, why would this couple that doesn't need me even offer their home to me? And they did. Like, they asked me to be their roommate, which of course made me super emotional and grateful, because you manifest things. Yes. You know, when you want something and you set it as a goal and you project that into the universe and you're committed, right? Because you make a decision.
And part of it is trusting it.
Yes.
Because we are so full of self-doubt that we always question these things. Absolutely. It's like what you just said, like, what, how long, why would this couple want me to live with them? Why? Exactly. Only for a month, but now it's been more than a year.
More than a year. Yeah. Yeah. And like, really, truly, without them, I don't know if I would have been able to make it, right? But that's the self-doubt talking, right? I would have been able to make it. I was given them, and they were a blessing to my life.
They were part of your process.
Exactly. Yeah. And when you make a decision, like you said, you do have to have trust and belief in it, because you can make a decision. I can say, like, I mean, how many people make a decision in New Year's to set goals, right? Like, this year, this is my goal. But how many truly believe that they can do it?
Exactly.
How many really work towards having it? You know, I had probably like the week before actually like packing my car, I was like, how am I going to do this, and how am I going to have money, and where am I going to
live? The doubts start coming up on you. Doubts are always going to creep up on you.
Yeah.
But the more you improve on yourself, the more you start trusting yourself and the decisions you're making, and the more you start suppressing that doubt.
Exactly.
And not going to say they don't arise. They will.
They do.
But you'll have gained a knowledge to where you no longer listen to the doubt, or you know how to push it back down.
Yeah, you're aware of it. You have to be aware of it, because if you are not aware of the doubt, you don't think it's there.
Exactly.
You just don't act, and then you think it's because of the external excuses that you say, like, no with the money, no with the job, no with my family. Those are all external excuses.
Yep.
They're not real. What's real is the doubt. That awareness of the chatter you have in your mind.
Yep.
When you're like, I know that we probably don't know where we're going to work, right?
Yeah.
I know that we probably may not have enough money, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Yep.
Right? Things will align and fall into place,
yes.
just like everything else does.
Yeah.
And literally, when I came out here, everything fell into place. Like, was there struggle? Yeah. Was there fear? Of course. I mean, when people tell me, like, but you're just fearless, and you went and you did it, and I'm like, if they only knew what was going through my mind. I mean, I was terrified, as anyone would be, to do a big change in their life. And it didn't stop me. I didn't allow the fear to overpower my strength and faith.
Yeah.
Amazing. Good. Yes. What about you? What have you improved in? Where you at, and what have you done to get yourself to where you're at now?
Well, I'll start with self-improvement. To me, it's a broad spectrum. You can start from any angle. Ashley and I always talk about it being a mind, body, spirit, emotional journey, and they're all connected. Your emotions are connected to how you're feeling physically. They're connected to how you're feeling mentally. They're connected to how you feel within your soul. And you can start on any realm of that, and it will progressively change all of them because they're all connected. Excuse me. And for me, it was something just ignited in me. Like I had moved out with my friend. Literally, this was in 2008, and my dad had some choice words for me, which I don't remember what they are. I just remember how I felt emotionally at that point. And I moved out, and I felt very empty inside. There was something lacking. And for me, what I felt drawn to was getting a spiritual book. So getting this book that I began reading was almost confirming how I always believed God or the universe to be. And so it's affirming everything I've always felt like within myself, which is the spirit, the soul, right? And as I'm reading, that's how I began my self-improvement.
And how did you find the book?
It was random.
Random?
It literally, my parents have a meditation room, and it's filled with different spiritual books, and I literally just grabbed one. Yeah.
Do you feel like you grabbed it out of like, let me just grab it out of curiosity, or was it something that kind of like gnawed at you to grab?
I don't really remember because it's been so long.
Yeah.
It was more of like, let's see the titles, and I picked the one that just felt like I needed to read. And as I'm reading it, it's just, I can't put it down because it's like, it's literally speaking to me.
Yeah.
And so based on those suggestions within this book is how I started changing my actions. So, my thought process or my actions. And so for me, it all began on a mind level versus like a physical level.
From within.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so once I started making those small changes with my way of thinking, and how I would treat others, then eventually it got to a point where it did go back to the physical now, because I wasn't happy with what I was portraying on the outside, because at this time I was in medical school, which was in 2012. I had gained a lot of weight, and it wasn't feeling, I was thinking to myself, like, how am I going to sit across from a patient and tell them they need to lose weight and eat right, where I'm sitting across from them being a hypocrite, overweight, and not following my own advice. So that's when I kicked the physical aspect into high gear and started putting nutritional things in my body and moving my body more. And then that's where the physical aspect. And it's funny because as the physical started changing, the mood and the emotions started changing as well, where I started, that internal happy started coming out more. Yes. And I realized the more happy I was giving out into the world, the more happy I was getting back. Yes. Yeah. And even the whole, like, oh my God, Ronnie, or, everyone calls me Ronnie. How are you always so positive and this and that? And I started with an internal change because I wasn't always that positive person.
Exactly.
Before that book, I was very easily angered. I was very, my words could cut you with a knife. Yeah. That's how sharp I was. And in Ayurveda, that means I was very pitta. So you can always change, and it can come from any side of, that connectedness. For sure. The mind, the body, the soul. Yeah. You can start anywhere.
Yeah, because I think, like you said, everything aligns, right? Yes. So if you physically feel like lazy and you're overweight and unhappy, then you're unhappy because you're overweight, but you're also probably overweight because you're unhappy. Exactly. Right? And they all link together.
It's a vicious cycle.
It is.
Yeah, and you have to do something to put that stop in that cycle. I know there's a word for it. I can't think of it.
I know exactly what you mean.
But yeah, it's being conscious of the cycle and then knowing when to stop it.
Yeah. Yeah. And allowing, because I think that a lot of times in my life, I felt unhappy or depressed or physically unhealthy and emotionally unhealthy, but it wasn't until I really acted on it. I feel like many of us feel that insecurity or unhappiness, and then we think, okay, it's New Year, right? Let me set a goal because I don't want to feel like this anymore. Yeah. When the key is not waiting till New Year's, right? It's not waiting for yourself to be even more unhappy. It's just saying this is where I'm at, and where I want to be is not going to allow me to feel this anymore, right? And in order to get to where I want to be, I have to start improving my true self. Yes. And that embodies and encompasses your emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual health. Yes. Deciding to do that is important, and then acting on it is what allows you to follow through with it.
Yeah, and most people's New Year's resolutions are weight loss, right? Yeah. That's why the gyms are packed. Mm-hmm. But before you make that resolution, ask yourself why you want to lose the weight. Don't put so much emphasis on oh my God, I need to lose 10 pounds. Exactly. Think about why you want to lose the 10 pounds.
And why you even have the 10 pounds.
Yeah. The why is what's going to keep you motivated. Exactly. And so, speaking of motivation, I came up with a quote yesterday.
Oh, yes!
We're going to bring it out now.
Send it out. Send it.
And it has to do with motivation and the process. So, motivation is what gets the process started. Mm-hmm. And the process is what keeps the motivation alive.
Yes.
So quote me on that, Ranjita Singh.
Yes. It's going to be one of those quotes,
Because that's where the why comes in.
Yes.
What. The why and the what motivates you.
Exactly.
And that's what's going to get you started.
Absolutely.
And you have to keep that in mind to keep that process going.
Keep that motivation on fire. And it's true, the reality is that you don't just gain weight. Right? No. You don't just gain 10 pounds. No. Something internally is off. Something is affecting you emotionally and spiritually. There's something off balance. So when you figure out why you want to lose the weight and why it's important to you, you start realizing that it's probably not because you just want to see a number decrease, right? Yeah. It's because you want to feel better about yourself. You want to be confident and free. You want to be happy and healthy from within. And that will reflect in your body. Yeah. And that's what keeps that motivation going. That remembering that you don't want to feel the way that you feel anymore.
And that's a key step in self-improvement.
Yes.
So that concludes today's topic. And we'd love to get your feedback. So please email us. Our email is the letter N, the word light, and the letter N again. So N, light, N, 7.
Yes.
11. 7-11. N, light, N, 7-11 @gmail.com.
Yes.
Send us comments, questions. If there's anything you want us to talk about, we are open to your suggestions.
Yes. So, and I mean, if you're struggling with self-improvement and you need more guidance and advice on how to do that, I mean, we know we've
been through it. We're going through it, and we would love to help you.
Yes.
So you can follow us on Instagram at
Peña Pequeña, PENA_PEQUENA.
And I'm Enlightened Health Fitness.
Enlightened
Health Fitness on Instagram.
Yes.
But yeah, follow us, ask us questions.
Yes.
We would love to hear from you guys.
Yes.
We love you. Have a great day. Until next week.
Bye.